Hi, my name is Megan and I'm a marketing manager with 15 years experience specializing in advertising and digital marketing. So today I want to talk to you about how I recovered a drop in domain reputation. So a few months ago, I absolutely tanked one of our sending domains. And when I say tanked, I mean open rates dropped almost overnight. Replies disappeared, Gmail placement got noticeably worse, and Outlook started behaving weirdly. And usually in a situation like this, you sort of only focus on Gmail, but when I noticed that Outlook had signs of a domain drop, I thought this is something serious that I should probably take note of. At first I thought maybe it was just a temporary campaign issue or a bad sequence, but after digging into it properly, it was obvious that the domain reputation had taken a serious hit. So I want to walk through exactly what happened, what caused the issue, what I did wrong initially, and the process on how to recover it. I'll also look at a couple of tools that I found really helpful that I'd love to share with you as well. So when this often happens, most people panic, right? And the advice that I looked at was super generic, or it was very technical and I didn't quite understand it. Or the perspective that I got was that you've permanently destroyed your domain and you have to start again. And honestly, most reputation issues are recoverable if you handle them properly and slowly. So a domain reputation drop will take hours to occur, but weeks to fix. So just to put that into perspective. So if I look at my case, what caused the problem, it wasn't one massive catastrophic thing. I obviously noticed the drop overnight, but it was more of a combination of smaller mistakes stacked together. I scaled sending too aggressively. My volume went too high too quickly, and when I tested lower quality lead sources that probably weren't as clean as they should have been, and engagement started slipping without me reacting quickly enough, that's when I knew that there's more to this issue. And the annoying thing is with deliverability is that you don't often realize there's a problem until performance completely falls off. And at first it's you think it's a campaign issue and maybe the open rates dip ever so slightly, or your replies slow down, or it's just one provider that starts underperforming, and then all of a sudden everything starts landing in spam. And yeah, that's when I thought, okay, let me Google this and see what a possible solution could be. So the first and biggest mistake I think I made was that I just continued to send my campaigns without diagnosing the issue first. And I think this is what most people do, because you try and overcompensate for your negative stats. So you try increasing volume in the hopes that you'd get more positive engagement signals. But if mailbox providers are already seeing low engagement, spam complaints, or bounce issues, then more sending just feeds them more negative data. So the first thing I eventually did, and honestly I should have done much earlier, was pause almost all cold outbound activity, just long enough to stop making the problem worse. I stopped this for about 4 days, and then what I checked first, everything was paused. I went through everything systematically, and the first thing was a technical infrastructure. So I looked at our DNS records. So I checked SPF, DKIM, and DMARC tracking domains and return path alignments. And even though our setup wasn't completely broken, there were a few inconsistencies that definitely weren't helping. So I definitely recommend checking your technical infrastructure first off. And then after that, we checked blacklist status. And look, thankfully we weren't heavily blacklisted, which made recovery a lot easier. But what we did notice was that Gmail trust had really deteriorated. Google Postmaster Tools was actually one of the biggest eye-openers during this whole process. So if you're sending decent volume through Gmail and you're not using Postmaster Tools, you should definitely add that to your list. Gives you a much clearer idea of, whether it's a technical issue, an engagement issue, or just a point blank reputation problem. So definitely start there. And in my case, the real issue was engagement. or the biggest lesson for me was engagement. A lot of deliverability advice still focuses heavily on the technical setup, and of course authentication does matter, but when all that is sorted, what do you do next? Modern inbox placement is heavily behavioral now. So they care about whether people open your emails, reply to them, move them out of spam. They watch if people ignore them or just delete them, if they flag them as high priority, for example. And once your engagement quality drops, your reputation can spiral. And that's why just fixing your DNS isn't enough once your reputation is already damaged. So the next thing I did after stopping the aggressive sending and checking my authentication was clean up the data. Obviously, quality data is the best thing for your campaigns. I removed old contacts, catch-all domains, low engagement segments, and basically anything that seemed dodgy. And a tool that really helped me with this was MXToolbox. And then I became a lot more conservative with my targeting afterwards. And keep in mind, having reduced the volume, that really played well in my favor. So instead of trying to scale back immediately, we just focused on highly engaged audiences, smaller sends, and then reply positive campaigns. So just trying to rebuild that trust slowly. And a tool that I found super useful was InboxAlly. It was actually my first experience using the tool. And honestly, it's the exact type of situation that the tool was built for after doing quite a bit of research. At that point, the issue wasn't really warming up anymore. It was about the mailbox providers that have already or had already distrusted my domain. What InboxAlly really helped with was rebuilding those positive engagement signals a lot faster. So instead of just waiting around hoping that reputation would recover naturally doing what I just mentioned before, I started generating more positive behavioral activity with the tool. So when it came to opens, replies, emails being pulled from spam, messages being marked as important, and I genuinely think that this helped accelerate recovery quite a bit, especially with the Gmail placement. You know, once your domain reputation is damaged, passive recovery can feel painfully slow. You obviously just want to get things on track as soon as you can. So recovery definitely wasn't instant. It took about 4 weeks from when I noticed a drop in reputation. And I think that's another misconception people have. You can damage a domain really quickly, but rebuilding it takes trust and consistency. So for me, I started seeing improvements within about a couple of weeks, but I'd say, so just over 4 weeks or a month before performance felt properly stable and consistent again. And even then, I scaled slowly and incrementally. I mean, you also can't just recover the domain and then immediately go back to sending huge volume. So mailbox providers want to see sustained behavior over time. They want to see you maintain those healthy signals, those engagement signals. So if I had to do it all over again, which I hope I won't have to, I'd probably focus on 3 things much earlier. First, it's monitoring the engagement quality more aggressively before I see a lapse in performance. Second is being way more strict with list quality. And the third thing is pausing campaigns faster instead of trying to push through the decline by sending more mails. So just keep in mind that once mailbox providers lose trust in your sending behavior, recovery becomes a lot harder. If your domain reputation has dropped recently, seriously, don't panic and don't listen to the advice that says it's beyond recovery, because most of the time it is recoverable. The biggest thing is just staying methodical about it instead of being reactive. Pause the damage first, figure out what the actual issue is, clean your infrastructure, your data, and then rebuild engagement carefully and slowly. If you're already deep in spam folder territory, tools specifically focused on engagement rebuilding and not just warm up, like InboxAlly, can genuinely help speed things up. compared to just waiting for reputation to recover on its own. So if you've experienced a similar situation, please feel free to share it, and also let everyone know what you did or attempted to do in order to recover your domain reputation.